When the arrogant president of the local homeowners association illegally hired contractors to chop down my grandfather's historic oak tree because it blocked her view, I used federal tree laws to completely bankrupt her entire organization and bought her own house at the foreclosure auction. I inherited a beautiful piece of land that sat right on the edge of a massive luxury gated community. Because my grandfather built the house 50 years ago, my property was completely independent and legally not part of their tyrannical homeowners association. With the new HOA, President Susan didn't care about facts or property lines. She was a miserable woman who spent her entire life harassing neighbors and measuring people's grass with a ruler. The second I moved in, she started leaving aggressive notices on my door, demanding I paint my blue house beige and pay her $500 a month in association fees. I laughed and threw them in the trash. Then she escalated. She slapped a fake $10,000 fine on my front door because my massive 200-year-old oak tree was dropping leaves into her pristine swimming pool next door. I sent her a certified legal letter proving I was not in the HOA and told her to back off. But Susan thought she was an absolute god who was above the law. Last Tuesday, I was at work when my doorbell security cameras alerted my phone. Susan was standing in my front yard sipping an iced coffee while an unlicensed tree removal crew started taking a chainsaw to my historic oak tree. My blood went completely cold. I didn't drive home to yell at her. I called the local police and a ruthless property lawyer immediately. By the time I arrived, the police had already arrested the contractors for trespassing and malicious property destruction. Susan was screaming at the cops, claiming she had supreme authority over the entire neighborhood and could do whatever she wanted. But what Susan didn't know was that destroying a massive historic tree carries insane legal penalties known as treble damages. My lawyers sued Susan personally and the entire HOA board for over $400,000 in damages. The HOA's insurance company completely dropped them because the act was intentional and highly illegal. To pay the massive legal settlement, the HOA went completely bankrupt, and Susan was personally forced to sell her luxury house at a massive loss just to avoid federal prison. I took the settlement money, attended the bank foreclosure auction, and bought Susan's house in cash for pennies on the dollar. I legally evicted her with a 30-day notice while she cried on the front lawn, and now I rent her former dream home to a loud college frat house who throw massive parties in her old pristine swimming pool every single weekend.